What's going on, everybody? You're now rocking with the Trash Cats. I am Geddis, and I got Thong with me, and I have a special guest with us as well, Jacob. What's going on, gentlemen?
How's it going?
Not
How's
much. It's
everybody?
good.
What's happening? What's happening? I have to say the shirt is fresh, Jacob. The shirt is fresh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's repping hard.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. So let's go ahead and get to it. Of course, we just had the NFL draft, and we know all of our picks. We know the undrafted picks. So let's get to. I want to kind of get y'all's thought process on this. Jacob, I've known Jacob for a while now. Social media, he knows all the information about the Jaguars. So we're gonna go ahead and dig deep into it. Very knowledgeable people here. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, first pick, of course, we got to talk about Brian Thomas. Now, me and Thong did do a video, and Thong called it. Brian Thomas is the guy that he wanted. He said that what the pick was going to be, and that's what ended up being the pick. So, Jacob, I want to get your thoughts on it because I already know what Thong feels. So, tell me what your thoughts are about picking up Brian Thomas.
So first glance, back in February when the Super Bowl ended, we knew where we were going to be slotted in the draft. I'm like, has to be a wide receiver. And that was not even knowing we were going to keep Ridley or not. I'm like, have to get someone opposite of him. Zay was banged up. I'm like, Brian Thomas is going to be there. I feel like he's going to be there no matter what. At 17, my original prediction, and the Falcons kind of screwed this up for us. I was like, we're trading up to 8. We're getting Rome Odunze, and all will be well. If we stay put, take Brian Thomas. Never did I think we were trading back and still getting him. So that was a steal. I fell in love with him throughout the draft process, if you will. But I mean, a 6'3", 210-pound receiver who runs 4.3. I mean, sign me up. So
Kind of a no-brainer.
Exactly.
Exactly.
my thoughts.
Yeah. So I sit back and I was because I texted Thong, I texted a few other people. I was like, Amon-Ra St. Brown got paid out the wazoo. At least I felt. So I thought that T. Higgins was getting dealt. Was getting dealt. So a part of me was like, oh, I think the Jaguars are going to make a move and get T. Higgins here. But then I saw nothing was happening, and the Bengals said they weren't going to trade him. So was that a shock to you, Thong, at all?
That they didn't trade him in the draft a little bit, just because it seems like he really doesn't want to be there anymore. And he drew the line in the sand that he wants to be traded. So, and the draft was kind of the perfect because now if you're trading him for another player or next year's draft picks, right? And that doesn't help you this year in any way. So, yeah, I'm not sure what their plans are with him because, I mean, he's definitely going to hold out. He's definitely going to sit out training camp and maybe even into the season. So, I don't know. I have no idea what they're doing.
Right. Were you surprised by that, Jacob? Or do you think he was going to get dealt or no?
I mean, I thought he was going to get dealt a while ago, but I mean, who knows now? Same with Ayuk too. I'm like, those guys are out the door. I'm just waiting for the bomb to drop. The notification come across my screen. But I felt like we were in the running for T. Higgins, definitely in the running for Ayuk, but I guess the compensation wasn't there, or maybe just a few things off. 49ers getting picky with what they want back, but I mean, I don't know. I have no clue.
they're being, I think they're just being hard-headed, but it is what it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's more of what it is. So, all right, round 2, we picked up Mason Smith from LSU. So I trust Trent Baalke. I trust Trent Baalke. A lot of people were thought that this pick was a reach. I want to get your thoughts on it, Jacob. What do you think about that pick?
It can be seen as a reach. You probably could have got him at 96. Got him in the 3rd round instead, where you got Jerry and Jones instead. But I mean, one of the philosophies of Ryan Nielsen is mass kicks ass, and that's all Mason Smith is mass. I mean, he is going to push people around. I think if you go back to how the season ended, wide receivers didn't perform. We're like, we got to get a wide receiver in the draft. We're getting pushed around on the D line. We're like, we got to get a big body up front. Obviously, we got Eric Armstead. So we got the bookends, Josh Allen, Trayvon, Eric Armstead in the middle. Hopefully Devon gets healthy. And then Mason Smith, a little bit of a project, but you can't teach size. So, I mean, he's just every bit of that. So, I mean, knowing the position we took, I'm like, D tackle, that's fine. Without knowing the names, or you tell me wide receiver and then D tackle, the first 2 off the board, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, it was interesting too because everybody was saying it was a reach, but it seemed like a lot of people NFL scouts had him going much higher than what analysts and pundits were saying. So I was like, I'm gonna go with what the NFL guys say over what they're saying on ESPN. So I mean, am I wrong for this, Tong, or you think that's the right way to look at it?
I mean, when you're drafting a player, you're not just drafting him for his ability now, but also his potential later on, right? And especially in the second, third, fourth rounds, you're drafting for potential. And Mason Smith, from what I've seen, what I've heard, has one of the highest potentials and highest ceilings in the whole draft, just because he has all the physical abilities. Like Jacob said, he's huge. He's really, really athletic. And he's just had a load of injuries during his college career that really held him back. So the potential is definitely there. If he stays healthy and he lives up to his potential, it could be definitely a home run pick.
Can't teach size. All right, round 3, Jarrian Jones. Now we get a little bit deeper into the draft, and this is I'm gonna lean on you, Jacob, on this one. What are your thoughts on Jarrian Jones at pick 96?
So I wasn't surprised that it was a corner. Going into day 2, I'm like, you got to get someone on the line, whether it's O-line or D-line, you got to get a corner, because we didn't get our corner in the first round. Everyone thought it was going to be Arnold with the 23rd pick, and it wasn't. But I'm fine with Brian Thomas, as we said. I mean, this guy's a press corner. I think he had the best man coverage percentage, or like passer rating allowed in all of college football last year, primarily in the nickel. But Ryan Nielsen wants to press guys. He wants to get in your face. Tyson Campbell can do that. Hopefully we get Darby and someone else out there that can. But Jarrian Jones, and you saw his interview after he got drafted. He's like, I'm a dog. I'm ready to go. So how can you not love that? So.
Exactly. So me and Tong talked about it. We were like, I said that, if you got a really good front line, the corners don't have to be some like super elite cornerbacks. They're going to get their picks. They're going to get their interception. They're going to be able to cover because the quarterback's not going to have that much time. Is that something that you agree with?
Oh, absolutely. It starts up front, though, in the trenches. So, I mean, Mason Smith was a good pick. You got Eric Armstead. I'm praying Devon gets healthy, because he can be a run stopper. He can make, keep teams honest. And Josh Allen and Trayvon are only going to get better together. So corners don't have to cover as long. End of the season last year, weren't getting any push. Corners getting, I don't want to say abused, but we were just getting, our whole defense we couldn't stop anybody when it mattered. Right. So big pick right there.
All right, round 4, pick 114 was Javon Foster. Tong, talk to me. What do you think about the pick?
Love the pick. We needed a swing tackle. It looks like he's going to be, the backup swing tackle going into the season. And then next year, after Cam is probably going to be his last year as a Jaguar, unless he has, a really, really great season and they extend him. So we're going to need a starter for next year as well. So definitely a position of need coming in. And looks like he's going to be a solid backup for us this year. And then next year, potentially a starter.
Nice. What are your thoughts on that, Jacob? Agree?
100% agree. I mean, a lot of people speculated Cam would get traded this offseason just to save some money or even cut. I mean, save some cap. But, yeah, Javon's going to fit right in, next year. Same thing with, like, Anton. We lost Jawan Taylor. Anton, plug and play. I feel like Javon could be the same thing on the other side.
Cool. Awesome. All right, round 4, pick 116. Jordan Jefferson. What are your thoughts on that, Jacob?
I'm gonna say it again. Mass kicks ass. Just another big boy up front. Got to have it.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'm with that. I'm of course, Tong. I'm pretty sure you agree with that.
Yeah, I thought it was a little curious that they picked another defensive tackle, but he's a little bit different. He's a nose tackle. Whereas second round pick, he's a little bit more of a athletic, can get pressure on the quarterback type defensive tackle. So they're two different guys. And they're both from LSU, and defensive coordinator or defensive or linebackers coach has an LSU background, so they'll fit right in. Yeah, it's a good pick. Another like high upside pick, because I think he has good potential to be a starter down the road as well.
Do y'all have any issues drafting 2 players from the same team like that, same position?
I mean, good football players are good football players, man. It doesn't matter where they play,
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So let's get to round 5. We got I'm assuming this DeAndre Prince. Jacob, what do you think about that pick?
Needed corner depth. You got Jarian Jones. DeAndre Prince is probably going to challenge maybe Gregory Jr. or, Buster Brown for a roster spot. I mean, who knows? He's a lengthy corner, taller corner, which is good because, Monteric Brown's, I think, maybe 5'10", and he's a smaller guy. Although he played well, like in New Orleans and stuff like that. You need depth, and Ryan Nielsen wants to be a physical defense, press you, like I said, get after the quarterback quick. So a perfect chess piece there.
Cool. Another pick in round 5 was Keelan Robinson. Tom, what do you think?
This one, not a big fan of this one. It seems like he's just a kickoff specialist, special teams type guy. A lot of people had him like undrafted or like 7th round grade on him. So I'm not sure why they took him this early. Also, we signed Duvernay in the offseason to, like, I'm guessing, return kicks and return punts. So not sure why this was needed, but kind of a weird pick to me here. But it's late rounds, so they took a flyer. He's fast, he's athletic. Could be a good special teams guy.
I trust Trent Baalke. There's something that we don't know. We're going to see it. So that's exactly what happened.
I think with the change of the kickoff rules, you're probably going to have 2 return men back there, and they might just share 50% of those returns. And Robinson has that breakaway speed, like Tong said. Duvernay's going to get that as well, but they alluded to he's probably going to play gunner as well. You have Daniel Thomas at one side on punt returns, or just punts in general, and then Keelan on the other side. If, like, Tim Jones is gone, I mean, he has that special teams ability. So it was like they're playing chess a little bit, like, oh, let's one up and get 2 return men instead of 1. But yeah, who knows? We'll see. Got to trust it.
I like what you're saying. You're making me feel good about it. That's what I need. I need that. Round 6 at pick 212, Cam Little. Jacob, what do you think?
Like Cam Little said in his interview, he crushed the process. He's a dog. I mean, I don't know how many kickers have swag like that. You got Justin Tucker, and he's arguably the best in the league and probably the best ever.
Facts.
And Cam Little's got the leg, accurate as hell. So, I mean, why not? I mean, you needed a kicker too. I mean, Brandon McManus and his huge kicks down the stretch left so many points on the field when the offense stalled. Riley Patterson doesn't have that leg. He can't kick a 55-yarder, and we can just sit back and relax. We're all holding our breath for, honestly, 49 and above. But Cam Little's got the leg. I think it's a great pick, and he's young too. So
it's interesting too, because I saw on the internet when the Jaguars posted the picture saying that they picked him, it seemed like everybody was cool with the pick. Like, everybody liked the pick. So I was like, okay, this makes me happy. All right, cool. All right, let's get to round 7. Last pick was Miles Cole, pick 236. Tong, talk to me.
Don't know much about him, to be honest. But it was just adding depth to the roster. It was a position of need, especially, we have 2 really good defensive ends, but behind them, it's not much there. So definitely looks like he can get after the quarterback. It's got good size, tested well. So yeah, good depth guy to round off the draft.
Gotcha. Well, let me go ahead and I'm going to run through some of these undrafted free agents that we got, because I feel like there's always one that goes undrafted that comes out to be a beast. Right. So we got Sean Bowman for Rutgers, tight end, Andre Carter, DE from Indiana, wide receiver, Joshua, I think it's Cephas from Cephas. Cool. Then we got another wide receiver, Brevin Easton, running back, Jalen Jackson, offensive lineman, Stephen Jones from Oregon. Okay. Linebacker, Trey Kaiser, running back, Lorenzo Lingard. Get it sometimes trouble. So I have trouble with these names. A linebacker, Andrew Parker Jr., Appalachian State. Yeah, I can see something from that. Josh Proctor, safety from Ohio State. Then 3 straight wide receivers, Wayne Ruby, Joseph Skates, and then David White Jr. Is there anybody from that list that sticks out to you, Jacob, that's like, okay, I think this guy's going to be somebody that could be an impact player in a year or so, or maybe instantly?
Wayne Ruby and Josh Cephas are my 2 favorites, probably everyone's favorites to make the team. Parker Washington's great, or was great when he filled in. His job's probably on the line, as it always can be. Zay Jones being gone, there's an extra spot in the wide receiver room. Wayne Ruby, I think it was him. He had 74 touchdowns in 3 years in college. Different competition, but he's just got, he can just take the top off of defense. Cephas is kind of like an all around wide receiver, big body too. I mean, you watch their tape and it's like, okay, why did they go undrafted? And kind of could be a diamond in the rough. Those are probably my 2 picks. If I had to bet on anyone to make the team, it'd be them.
What about you, Thong? Anybody stick out to you?
I would bet maybe one of the running backs makes this roster, just because last year our running back depth wasn't the greatest, and we didn't really sign any free agents this year. So I really wouldn't be surprised if a running back made the roster off of that list.
Cool, awesome.
No love for Tank Bigsby.
He struggled last year, man. Hopefully the fumble woes and the pass protection woes are behind him. But yeah, he's got to step it up this year to make.
He's somebody that I really wanted to. I want him to be good. So that's why I'm like I'm rooting for him. You get people that are get rid of him, get blah this, blah that. I'm like no. I'm like, you can't just toss people away like that. Like, the dude can be something. Yeah. So just like get over I don't know if it's nervous or whatnot. I've never played football at pads, so I can't sit down there and critique a person that hard. But I don't think that he's bad. I think he just needs to get over whatever it is that it is, and he'll be good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, ETN, his rookie year, he fumbled 6-7 times in crucial moments too. Flipped the switch. Second year, and he, if not for our offensive line kind of falling apart at the end, he should have been a Pro Bowler. So
yeah,
who knows?
So now that we got these, now that the draft is done, we got the undrafted free agents, and we're going to go into camp and whatnot. Jacob, what do you think this roster looks like? How does it pan out?
Better than last year, who knows? And some position groups it is. Losing Darius Williams was tough. He was getting old, kind of just a hefty contract. It made sense to release him. Kind of build it from the bottom up, especially in the trenches. My biggest gripe after losing the Titans, and honestly that 1-5 stretch, was you got to get big up front. We weren't getting any push from the offensive line, had no run game, and we're getting any push from the defensive line. Couldn't stop anybody when it mattered, like I mentioned before. So getting Mitch Morse at center, you get a 9-year starter, a veteran with Trevor. You kind of go and just run it back with the rest of the people, but hoping they're all healthy. You kind of have some depth with Walker Little, Javon Foster, Shatley, things like that. I'd say we're probably in the same spot as we were when we started last season, with less hype. Last year we made the playoffs, so now we're going to the Super Bowl. I think we have that same type of roster to make a run, just people don't think so right now or aren't paying attention to it. So.
Right. I mean, we had people, I forgot who it was on ESPN, had us projected to be the first, to represent the AFC, being the first team in the AFC. And I was like, y'all gotta chill out, man. Like, y'all gotta chill out. Y'all can't be hitting us with all this. I don't need all this. So now we're under the radar, and the Texans have all that on their head. So I'm like, good, let them have it, and let us sneak up and punch them in the mouth and steal 2 wins from them. So Thong, tell me, what do you think about the roster?
Yeah.
You think there are any holes that got filled that you feel more comfortable with now?
Yeah, definitely. And like starting out, in the trenches, O-line, D-line definitely got better. And I feel like we have with Brian Thomas, a receiver that brings another dimension to the offense that we haven't had since probably like Allen Robinson, right? Like a big guy that can go up, get the ball, catch, fade routes in the end zone. Like, we haven't had that in a very long time. The one position that really sticks out to me of need is still cornerback, right? We have Ronald Darby. We drafted Jaron in the 3rd round, but he's more of a very specific nickel guy, right? He can't really line up on the outside, so really need that second outside cornerback. And I'm thinking, maybe we make a splash, go get Marshawn Lattimore, go get Xavier Howard. We have $30 million of cap space after cutting Zay Jones. So definitely have the cap space for another starting corner if we really want to go get them. And if we do, I think it really would round out the roster well.
What do you think about that, Jacob? We make a splash and get a corner. How would you feel about it?
I completely agree with everything you said. I mean, you got to. Sorry, my dog just entered my office here.
That's all good.
Yeah, you got to get a corner, got to get depth there, because that's probably the position group that didn't improve or even got worse. Yeah, I mean, long off season. Just a month ago, we were crowning the Texans through free agency. Draft happened. Now we're back on our horse, and so who knows what could happen? Long off season. We got 4 months till it kicks off. I mean, we can go get someone with that. All that money we have, why not? So,
what's interesting is that that's where I was going to end this video at. Anybody who's on my Facebook, they know I've been crying. I've been crying and complaining about the fact that I'm watching the Texans and seeing what they're doing. So I'll let you start this and we'll end it with you, Thong. So how do you feel where we're currently constructed now? How do we look in the AFC South? Because this is not the same AFC South. I think now people are going to start to put respect on the AFC South because all these teams look very good. Well, the Titans, I mean, they're the Titans, but still, they still got enough pieces that they can make a splash. So tell me what you think.
I think the division's wide open. The division's definitely wide open. I mean, last year, we split with Houston. It's not like they spanked us both times. You know what I mean? There's every team in the division has a talented young quarterback. It's going to be exciting. But I think we have as good a chance as anybody in the division to win it. It's just a matter of, Trevor playing up to his potential and also, staying healthy at key positions. But that's every team, right? You can't have depth everywhere in the NFL. There's cap space for a reason, or a salary gap for a reason. And, the parity, it's built for parity. And the difference between winning and losing in the NFL is like very, very small, right? 1-2 injuries here and there, and it can change your whole season.
Tell me what you think, Jacob.
I agree. Very small margin of error in the NFL. I mean, we whooped the Panthers at home the end of the year. The Panthers beat the Texans in Carolina. Like, you just never, any given Sunday is what they say, and I completely agree with that. I wouldn't say the AFC South is wide open. Obviously, there's a clear favorite with the national media who's going to run away with it. I think it's wide open. You think it's wide open. Thong thinks it's wide open. It's a very talented division now. I mean, Anthony Richardson coming back healthy, Michael Pittman and Adonai Mitchell now, Jonathan Taylor, probably still one of the best running backs in the league. I mean, you can't downplay any of that. Titans got better, stole Ridley from us, got Tony Pollard. I mean, whole new regime. Who knows? I like our chances. I think with our second place schedule as opposed to a first place schedule, we got 3 easier games in the Texans. Can kind of get a game up on them, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited.
All right. So before we end it, because you brought him up, so I had this discussion with Thong, right? Because I was telling him, I was like, I don't know why the coach drafted Anthony Richardson, right? I was like, the dude's not good. He's awful. He's bad. He's terrible. Blah blah blah. Right. So then I sat down. I think it was it us that he was playing against, and I saw him do a few things, and I was like, okay, Thong, I see it. I was like, I see why I see why they drafted him. I'm like, if this dude could just complete 25% more of his passes, I'm like, he's going to be a real problem for us. Do you see that happening, Jacob, or am I just being nervous again?
No, I mean, he has to be healthy. I mean, he started off week 1 against us, and he's like throwing himself at linebackers, and those are things you can't do at quarterback. Josh Allen's done it for a while, and he's maintained relatively healthy, but you got to protect yourself end of the day because the best ability is availability. So he can be as talented as he wants. It's not going to mean anything if he's on the bench. So he's a scary athlete. When he is healthy, he kind of gets the mental errors out of him. I mean, he was a rookie last year. Same with Stroud. I mean, they're going to take a jump forward most likely. Stroud might stay the same. I'm hoping he stays the same or has a slump.
Sophomore slump.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I know from the last video, Thong thinks he's going to go crazy with Diggs. So I could see it too. I could see both sides.
Yeah, everybody was saying
I don't want to open that can of worms.
Yeah, they're saying I was coping. I wasn't coping. I don't think Diggs is going to be that big of a deal there. But anyway, we can discuss that later. But awesome. If you're watching the video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Jacob, thank you for being on. As we always do, we drop videos every week. So check in. Like I said, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, all that kind of good stuff, because we hit you with more videos. Peace.